It's a wonderful time to be headed for Istanbul, especially aboard Turkish Airlines. In the tradition of their capital city being the legendary link between Asia and Europe, it's a popular stopover en route to 311 destinations worldwide.
Nothing excites me more than packing my bags and jumping onto a plane. This time around, I'm headed to Istanbul, a city I've visited before. And I must say, there's a certain charm you discover when you visit a place for the second time. This one is definitely for the gram.
Stepping aboard is like having reservations at the finest Turkish restaurant, but 30,000 feet high, personally attended by Chef Can Dogan.
Chef John, the menu looks absolutely amazing. How do you think it highlights one's experience in business class?
It's all about the patience. So we're cooking the foods like we're cooking ourselves. So I think this is the key of the success.
What's on the menu tonight? I'm looking forward to it.
So all the foods, it's made daily and fresh. The specialty is grilled fish and the shish kebab for tonight. So I hope you enjoy it.
A delicious dinner was the entree to Turkey's eternal capital. As part of her trip, Lorna had taken up the Turkish Airlines Stopover offer, where business class travelers get 2 free nights at a 5-star hotel and economy travelers 1 night.
After 10.5 hours of flying, I'm feeling well rested and ready to explore the city of 7 hills. These numerous architectural wonders have stood the test of time and still stand tall in all their might. I'm meeting Karim, who's made Istanbul his second home, and he's taking me around. Come with me.
Even if you stop over for only 6 hours, you can still take the free guided tour.
Karim, where are we? These buildings are quite monumental.
This is known as Topkapi Palace. It's situated in the heart of Istanbul on the Bosphorus Strait. Topkapi Palace was constructed by Mehmed Sultan II between 1460 and 1478. It's actually built on the Roman Byzantine emperor's remains, as you can see how strong the Ottomans were. If you can just imagine, less than 100 years ago, it was still the home of the Sultan.
I believe it was the center of administration for the Ottoman Empire.
Yes, it was. Between the 15th and the 19th century, all the major decisions for the Ottoman Empire were taken inside this palace. The word Topkapi in Turkish actually means gates of cannons.
Over 4 centuries, the palace and its gardens were home to 22 different sultans and their families. Surrounded by magnificent plane trees with a scent of rose gardens in the air, this is where the rulers of the Ottoman Empire took their coffee. Inside this building lies the fountain of Sultan Ahmed III, surrounded by verses of a poem dedicated to water. The Ottomans understood that without water, the grand works of their civilization could not be sustained.
Karim, it's hard to believe that Hagia Sophia was built in 5 years.
Only 5 years, built by Justinian Emperor I. After 1400 years, the 3rd incarnation, and it's still standing. It was first built as a church, then converted to a mosque, and now a museum. So the architecture inside it speaks through all these different stages of Hagia Sophia.
The building has survived hundreds of earthquakes. Serving as the imperial church or mosque, emperors were crowned here, victories celebrated, and sultans said their prayers here. For centuries, it was credited as the largest shrine on earth, and its dome is still the biggest in the world.
The most important part, or the iconic part about this architecture is actually the floating dome, as you can see it from this side. So the floating dome has actually become one of the marvels of the architectural world.
Who was Hagia Sophia?
So Hagia Sophia was not a person. Hagia Sophia translates into holy wisdom. Holy wisdom is one of the characteristics of God.
I've come to love Istanbul, but why have you chosen it as your second home?
I love Istanbul, I love Turkey, but firstly, I'm proudly South African. I'm a Cape Town boykie. But traveling, as everybody loves to do, we travel because of adventure, because of religion, culture. All these things are ticked off in Turkey. But what makes it easy is that the visa is at no cost. It's absolutely free for South Africans. Secondly, your money stretches further in Turkey than what it does in South Africa. You can pack your bags and get ready to go to Turkey.
You had me at stretching your rand. That's definitely up my alley.
One sacred structure is the real hallmark of Istanbul. The architect ensured that all approaches to it build anticipation, and the final reveal, 7 years in the making, is one of a kind.
Oh, the Blue Mosque, right? But that's not its actual name.
No, the correct name is Sultan Ahmed. Blue Mosque comes from the blue tiles within the mosque, so you can't see the blue outside, only inside. It was constructed by Sidefka Mehmet Ağa in the 17th century. He was the apprentice to the most famous architect in Turkey, Sinan. The tiles inside gives the blue reflective color, and 21,000 and odd tiles of blue is placed inside this blue mosque. The blue within the tile comes from different materials, which was the most expensive to make. So because of the prestigious Ottoman majestic type of architecture that we find here in Istanbul, they went for the most expensive blue tile. And this is where the name Blue Mosque comes from.
Well, blue happens to be one of my favorite colors, so definitely my spot.
Outside is a fountain built in Germany, shipped here, then reassembled on site, as engineers did with 2 obelisks on the Hippodrome. Brought from Egypt over 1,600 years ago, the obelisk is just another reason why a stopover in this magnificent city might be the best way to spend 24 hours anywhere in the world.
Here.